Good grief. Now you've really made me angry. I have my Beyblade stand. Kraken K4.
You fool zankye. I, Mr. Krabs, have Sphinx S4. With its stand. The world.
So today for our Beyblade show, we're taking a look at Kraken K4. That's right, the Kraken has been released, which is a good joke I probably should have done for the intro. But regardless, we get to know what Kraken is, because I don't even know myself. This is a stamina type Slingshock Bay. The parts are D5211, TS14-S. Now, I'm going to be honest, this is not in the app. We have no idea what the performance tip is actually called as of this recording. We just know the name of, well, we know the number is what I mean. If we knew the name, I'd say it. But yeah, we don't know anything. The QR code does not work with the app till they actually update it, so we don't really have any idea. I mean, the name doesn't really matter too much. It's what it actually can do. So we're gonna be taking a look. So Hasbro Exclusive, and I was super surprised by this with how actually good it is. So Kraken was a very mysterious bay. We kind of barely knew anything really about it. We only knew very either limited or small details for it. And now finally we can sort of get an idea for it. So what I really want to show quickly is, of course, it with a level chip, a blue level chip. Obviously wait till Hasbro actually makes their own level chips compatible with Hasbro bays. This was a TAKARA TOMY level chip. So 11 is not really that special when it comes with Kraken, right? In terms of the parts, you got Kraken, you got 11, and you got, I don't know actually, because it's either in the shape of a lowercase a or it's a P. I'm going with P, so if I'm right in the recording and the bay's actual performance tip starts with the letter P, I guess that'd be cool. If it's not, it doesn't really matter too much. So with the performance tip, I thought at first that it was sort of like guard. It's a very unique shape. You can see it has a swirl on it. This is in its battle ring mode, as the focus will clear up. And look, the gimmick, it goes flat, right? And that's cool, but the really good thing about this performance tip is, at first I thought it was just that Kraken has good slopes. No, this actually is really tight on some bays, so Kraken K4 is actually worth getting. It's very interesting. It is a stamina type Beyblade. Stamina type Beyblade. It looks really solid. Like, I don't really know what else to say. I was very surprised, actually. Very surprised by this performance tip. So, overall, Kraken is very interesting because Ogre and Kraken, I would say, are probably the best when it comes to slopes for how tight they are. So, it's pretty decent on this one. Kraken K4 is not like a heavy hitter. I think if you were to get Kraken, this performance tip is probably worth it quite a bit. It is pretty decent. It looks very interesting. Now, I have a theory that this is a Hasbro exclusive performance tip. I could be wrong. There is a -S there, and I guess it wouldn't make sense if there would just be a -S because they would have to do a normal release. I don't know what this is. I don't think it is. A lot of people have said Quest or whatever. It's not Quest. I don't know what it is. I think it might be a Hasbro exclusive performance tip. I mean, they've done bays, so I guess it would make sense if they did a performance tip. So now what I want to do is actually show this scale, show how heavy it is. So I'm going to be putting the layer on this scale, and just so we can see clearly, it is 8.5 grams. So Kraken K4 is a pretty light layer overall. And even if there, okay, so the thing is with turbo bays, there's no metal on it. We already know it. Even if there was metal, it's kind of weird for the points of where the metal would actually be there. I don't think it would really help the layer too much. It does have a very interesting shape. This sort of looks like Blast Genius if it's sort of changed into turbo, even though not the same avatar, which I don't even know what the avatar is. I guess the avatar for this bay would be probably a Kraken, maybe with an anchor holding it. The performance tip is 5.56 grams. So this bay is not incredibly heavy. It's a turbo bay. Obviously with turbo bays, we should understand that these bays aren't really going to be naturally that heavy. However, the Kraken bay is still extremely interesting. So with the full bay itself, Kraken K4 is 30 grams. You can't really see it. 30 grams. You can see the Beyblade is 30 grams, maybe a little bit over 30. You could round that to 31 grams in total. Not too bad. So this is a Hasbro single, and it doesn't come with a launcher. I'll still be showcasing this with a turbo launcher. Slingshock mode? Is this Slingshock mode? I actually can't tell right now. Let me see. Let me check with Kraken. No, that was just normal battle ring. Then okay, let's try actually Slingshock mode. Is it? I can't tell. Was that Slingshock mode? Yeah, okay, let's see. So this is Slingshock mode for sure now, because it's all flat. Okay, yeah, so that was Slingshock mode. So that means that battle ring mode, let's see. A lot of these turbo bays, they're mostly just gonna all feel like attack types, but let's see how the stamina should work for this. How does it perform? No, I like it. It looks really nice when it's spinning. Look at it. Look at the bay. Ah, Kraken! That's cool, that's cool. Kraken's not too bad, actually, very surprisingly. So, what we'll be doing now, I'm going to be switching out the stadium in a second. We'll be battling against some Evolution Beyblade, since, you know, that's the main scaling for how we should try to do this stuff. Evolution, then after Make It Fair, we'll do also Turbo, and we're going to see how strong is Kraken. I think Kraken's probably going to be decent. I don't think it's going to be, like, too overpowered. I think it's just a decent bay. First off, I do want to do a normal test launch in the stadium, just so the viewers can get an idea of Kraken. That is battle ring mode, as we can see right there. Yeah, look at it. It's a stamina type bay. I think actually the attack mode's not too bad, and the locking in system on Kraken from Slingshock to battle ring is also pretty decent. Because with a lot of turbo bays like Achilles and whatever, Achilles has a bad slope and extends not really that good on a lot of bays. With this one, slopes are pretty good, decent. I would say 7.5, close to an 8. The performance tip is really good, like for an example, bays like Delaon, that I'm not really a fan of. Bays like Delaon, which I'm not really a fan of, it actually goes pretty decent on it. So it's a good performance tip that can lock in well too. So what I'll be doing now is some battles. Most of this will just be in its regular mode, but for now, let's try on Switch Strike. Let's actually try Attack, except if it's a stamina type Beyblade. Let's surprise him. It does. I think it can give those hits. The slopes don't really move too much. So it can give those hits. I don't think it can burst. It can give the hits though. I want to try. Let's try for Tornado or Tempest Wyvern, I should say. Let's see how it performs. I don't think it can beat Atomic. I just want to see how it actually performs. I think it's decent. It's not too bad, actually. Whoa! That's... Well, for turbo standards, sometimes they can't even compete with Switch Strike bays, so that's good. That's good. Let's try... Genesis Valtrek's okay when it comes to Hasbro. Because I remember before, Genesis Valtrek would actually burst as exclusive. Ooh. It did get stuck, to be fair. So let's try another round. I think with the layer's unique shape, it actually is going to help it perform well. Alright, Genesis Valtryek is down. So it took down Spryzen, it took down Valtryek, so it's looking pretty good. Now let's try Shelter Regulus. Hey, is this finally the Bay where I'm actually going to do it against all Switch Strike and not just against all Turbo? Because I was supposed to do some other Bays. I might do Kraken before everyone else, honestly. So, it did lose to Regulus. We do a second round, always to be fair. Not too bad. It took down Regulus, and look at how far Regulus was pushed. Deep K-Nox. So between the Hasbro meta, it's looking good. It's looking good. That new performance tip, or Slingshock performance tip, whatever the actual name we find out it to be, is good. Can't beat Bearing. I just want to see if it could burst K-Nox. K-Nox didn't move the slopes on it, didn't really budge too much. Let's try Spryzen Requiem. So, overall impressions on Kraken, not too bad. I think it's gonna probably get an 8 if it's able to defeat all these bays. Spryzen isn't left in defense. Not seeing if it can burst Spryzen, I'm just trying to see if it can beat it. Kraken, it's looking good for you. It is surprising, and I usually am sarcastic with turbo bass because some of them, like Sphinx, let's be honest, it wasn't really all that good. Kraken K4 is very, very surprising for its performance. It managed to outlast it a little bit, so that's good. Let's try now between the turbo meta. Let's try just some bays that I have there. So we're not going to do any like custom combos for right now. Typhon. We're going to see if Typhon can do it. I almost said it wrong. Alright, good, good, good. Let's actually try Blast Genius, because it kind of reminds me a lot of Genius. Guard is up. I did think it was a Slingshock version of Guard, but I was wrong. I checked the symbol in the performance tip and it wasn't the same. Okay. Let's try Revive Phoenix. The armor did come off and it isn't into attack mode, but not bad. Alright, I'm gonna do one more match. Let's do it against Hercules, and let me do it in my attack. Excuse me, my Slingshock mode. Obviously, it's not going to beat Hercules is Eternal. However, my overall thoughts on Kraken is yes. I feel like under a lot of other turbo bays, this performance tip is going to be extremely useful. Is Kraken K4 worth a pickup? Not only is this Beyblade actually a single, excuse me, is not only is this Beyblade a single, but the layer is pretty decent, the performance tip is pretty good. I highly suggest whenever Kraken K4 is in stores, you definitely give it a pickup. I still don't know what the performance tip is actually called. I am curious. Nobody's been able to actually guess what it is. I did actually do a post in my community tab for people trying to guess what it is. I thought it was maybe something like I tried to guess a few names. It wasn't. It's not planets. So, in theory, what I think, like, we even tried to ask Hasbro if they know what it is. I got no response. So, I don't know. I don't know. It's worth the pickup, I would say. And I'll show the QR code. The QR, you can't really scan it, but yeah, if you want the QR code, I guess. Whenever it comes out in the app, you'll be able to actually scan it. So if the QR code doesn't work, for the very obvious reason that the base's not in the app, whenever it does come in the app, we'll be able to actually do gameplay on it. And guess what the performance tip's called? So, this so far, I would say, one of the best Turbo Beyblades. Actually, I would say, yeah, it's one of the best Turbo Beyblades. Considering the meta for a lot of these bays, it's not too bad for what, for some of what we're getting. So, that's it for now. My like goal is pretty simple. 1,000 likes, because this bay is awesome. You tell me that actually in the comment section below if maybe this is a performance tip and I'm missing out, because it did say TS is stamina, so I'm not too sure. And for now, have an awesome day.